welcome back, everyone, to the BSO podcast number 22. Joined by Keegan Burr, Cameron Andrade, myself is Kurt Zottl. Happy Saturday, everyone. How you guys doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you, Kurt?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. So, obviously, we got a lot of sports to cover. It is NFL prediction time. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over some of the NFL predictions of the awards that are gonna come up. And we're also going to give some grades for every NFL team, and we're going to give some reasoning on why we believe that we gave this grade. So I think that we are pretty excited for this. But we did do a YouTube video on this. It is on our YouTube channel at the BSO Show, so make sure you guys check that out. Definitely, it was one of the fun YouTube video I made. I obviously enjoyed it. But we want to expand on why we gave it a grade. We kind of went not a lot into depth on those teams and why we gave them the grade, but this podcast we're going to go more to depth.
Mm-hmm.
So, first award is the MVP award. Obviously, it's the biggest award, most valuable player in the whole National Football League. So, who would like to start us out for the MVP?
I think Cameron should start us out.
Alright, boys. I'll set the tone. My MVP is Patrick Mahomes. He's the third player in NFL history to throw for 50 touchdowns, and he's only 22 years old, or 23. He's also had a QBR of 113.5, I believe, or .8, something like that. But he did throw for 12 interceptions, that's a problem, but he did throw for 50 touchdowns, which is, I believe, like double digits more than second place, so Patrick Mahomes has to win MVP.
No. He actually doesn't have to win MVP. Because my MVP is Drew Brees. You're going to look at the touchdown. I don't care that Mahomes threw 50. He's got a lot of weapons to help him. So
does Drew Brees.
What, Michael Thomas?
Yeah.
You're telling me Traquan Smith's the valuable second receiver?
You're telling me Sammy Watkins is a valuable second receiver?
Yeah, he is. Who's like the...
Traquan Smith actually had a good year.
Yeah, because Drew Brees is a good quarterback. That's how... Traquan Smith is on another football team, then he would not be a number one.
Sammy Watkins had a good year because Patrick Mahomes was
No, he was already good, Sammy Watkins.
No.
Okay, well...
Did nothing at the Rams. Or the Bills.
Well, the Bills is a joke, so you're not really going to get anything there.
Well...
So I'm going to go Drew Brees. 32 touchdowns, which doesn't stand out, but what I am a fan of is not turning over the ball. Only got 5 interceptions. You know who else got 5 interceptions of the Chiefs? Alex Smith. So, I obviously am a fan of the only 5 interceptions. If you're going to brag about the QBR, I'll do it too. Drew Brees got 115, which is 2 more than your big man.
How many touchdowns did he throw?
Okay, but how many interceptions did he throw?
How many touchdowns?
How many interceptions?
What's better, touchdowns or interceptions?
I mean...
What's worth more?
Okay, but here's the thing. If you're going to throw interceptions, they could go and score. So
well, let's look at the stats. Did they? We don't know.
Well, I mean, keeping the ball, I obviously said I was a huge fan of.
Also, Patrick Mahomes did have running back for half the season. Now he has Spencer Ware, who I don't think is better than Mark Ingram or Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, so my MVP was actually also Patrick Mahomes. He led that incredible Chiefs team they're the number 1 seed in the AFC, and their defense may not be great, but he has led this offense to be a top offense in the league and is carrying that, and he's the vocal point of that offense with Tyreek Hill. So
like Kermit. I'm just kidding.
What? How's that
Patrick
funny?
Mahomes sounds like Kermit.
He likes ketchup.
That is true.
But I believe Patrick Mahomes is the MVP. I agree with Cameron.
I mean, it's kind of hard, to fill in the shoes of Alex Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Just the prank.
And no, but like the 50 touchdowns is incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, but the 5 interceptions is incredible.
That is incredible. Yes, I agree.
He joined Tom Brady and Peyton Manning as the only quarterbacks to throw more than 50 touchdowns.
That's why it's a tough race, because the interceptions and the touchdowns and the QBR and everything. It's going to be close.
Yeah, it will be. Obviously.
But I also want to mention, I believe, a lot of the past reason we're not stating any running backs or anything is a lot of the past MVPs have all been quarterbacks. I think the last one was 2011, the Adrian Peterson. I believe he was on the Minnesota Vikings, but I believe he was the last one to win MVP, not as a quarterback.
Thank you, Keegan, for the stat. We have two Patrick Mahomes, one Drew Brees. Y'all listen to me. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Keegan, want to start us off this time for who you think should win Offensive Rookie of the Year?
I will. So, my Offensive Rookie of the Year is Saquon Barkley. I believe it's a 2-horse race between Saquon and Baker.
And Lamar.
Nope. 2-horse race.
Nope.
2
horse race. 2.
He's the third rookie ever to have a total of 200 total yards. He had 1,300 rushing yards, and then 700 receiving yards. He also had a total of 15 touchdowns behind that shaky offensive line, with 11 of those being rushing touchdowns. So he had an incredible season. Yet, like I said, behind that offensive line, which was really bad this year, he had a lot of 50-yard runs, and you just saw him take off. And he could do everything. He could catch the ball, run the ball. He hurdled players. I mean, he was incredible.
Wow, incredible.
Trying to fight with Jalen Ramsey. What a guy.
I mean, that's not really shocking. My Offensive Player of the Year is the other one of the 2-horse races, Baker Mayfield. Saquon Barkley is an incredible athlete, I will say that, but the Giants kind of still suck, and the Browns don't really suck. So I think Baker, if you're looking at it from that standpoint, had more impact on a team standpoint.
If you're saying impact, who had the most impact, it's definitely Baker. But better player, Saquon.
Okay. I'm gonna get into my reasoning line. Baker Mayfield almost had 4,000 yards, which I think we all agree that's a pretty good stat.
I think that's pretty good.
Yeah. And we have to remember he missed 2.5 games, so I think that if he would have played those, he would have gotten that 4,000 yard mark. A 93.7 QBR, which is pretty impressive for a rookie. And then he led this Browns team that went 0-16 last year to, what was it, 7-8-1, I think it was. Yeah. But I mean, they were obviously in a lot of close games this year and could have won some of them more. So I think that Baker is, like I said, had a huge impact, and I think that's kind of what led me over the edge. So Cameron, who's your rookie of the year?
My rookie of the year is Saquon Barkley. I agree with Keegan. He third rookie ever to have 2,000 total yards, and not only he made the offense better, but he also had 15 touchdowns and 0 fumbles with the 27th best offensive line in football, which is pretty impressive if you ask me.
Yeah, the offensive line's pretty impressive.
No.
Okay. Good one.
Thanks. Obviously, Rookie of the Year and MVP is going to be a kind of a close one. I think we can all agree on that one. So, moving on to Defensive Rookie of the Year, who do you guys think is going to win that? Who wants to start us off?
Do you want to start us off, Kurt?
Of course. Thank you. Derwin James.
Jesus.
Would you like to tell me how good that Chargers defense was last year?
I mean, it went 9-7.
Did they make the playoffs?
No.
Thank you. What are they this year? 12-4?
I mean, the Ravens didn't make the playoffs and they had a good defense.
I mean, it's not really no show out there. Derwin James had 105 tackles, which is more than you guys will ever get in your lifetime. Yeah. 3.5 sacks as a safety. As a safety. I want everyone to say it. As a safety. Come on. As a safety. All right, well, that's good. 3.5 sacks. That's good. Probably more than some defense. And then to top it off, 3 interceptions, and he's turned this defense of the Chargers into something really special. Obviously, they're now a 12-4 team, and they're now a scary defense. I know, Keegan, you made the point on Tuesday that the Chargers defense is better than the Ravens defense. Bring it in, big man. So, Derwin James, a.k.a. President James.
What?
Cameron?
I have Derwin James as...
Say it with me. Derwin James.
He was picked like 17th or 18th.
Yeah, I want the
later
Redskins to get him.
And he's been definitely a problem for our offense, and he's definitely made his defense better, and he's become a leader on this defense. Kind of like Jamal Adams did when he was drafted by the Jets. He's become the leader on that defense. He's made it so much better. Obviously, being one of the top defenses in the league when they can perform. So, Keegan, who's yours?
So, mine is actually Darius Leonard.
How
Hear
about
me
that
out.
Pro Bowl?
Hear me out.
C.J. Mosley deserved
No. But anyways.
Who?
Darius Leonard, yes.
Derwin James. Why is no one
The
saying
reason
that?
I have Darius Leonard being the defensive rookie of the year is, first of all, he was the total tackle leader in the NFL. He had 163 combined tackles, which was 19 more tackles than the second most in the league. Not only that, but he also had 7 sacks, which is 38th most in the NFL. 2 interceptions,
Derwin James had 3.
which was 53rd. Darwin James is also a safety. He had 4 forced fumbles, which is 6th most in the NFL. So putting all that together, all these stats, forced fumbles, tackles, interceptions, sacks, I think Darius Leonard came out as a second-round pick, I believe. Came in second round.
out of South Carolina State, a
And
team that
he-
you never saw on TV.
Yeah, no, and he played
ESPN Plus.
incredible. And I know Cameron made the point that he's not in the Pro Bowl or whatever, but
I actually did, but it's fine. It's fine. It's
I
fine.
said
No,
C.J.
no, no.
Mosley deserves it.
Right, yeah, no, but he deserves it over C.J. Mosley, and I do believe
No.
Darius Leonard should be the NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Do you not see that interception by C.J. Mosley?
Why are we talking about C.J. Mosley? This is a
It's-
discussion between Derwin James.
He brought it up.
C.J. Mosley doesn't deserve to be in the Pro Bowl over.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, maybe DJ Swear. All right, next one.
Wait, hold on. If he went to the Pro Bowl, would he wear a Redskins helmet? Even though he got cut?
So the next one is
He
come
would
back.
just wear a white helmet?
Yeah, I don't know.
Next one's Comeback Player of the Year.
Oh, God.
I think
That's
it's kind of
kinda easy.
I think it's kind of easy.
Yeah.
I think we all know who it is.
Big boy Andrew Luck. Everyone say it with me. Big boy Luck. Big. All right, so
you got the point we're not going to change.
here's the thing. Obviously, going back to Baker Mayfield, I'm a huge fan of choosing these awards because of the impact they have on a team. The Colts went 4-12 last year, and they didn't really make much changes except on the head coach position. Obviously, getting rid of Chuck Pagano, but you bring in Andrew Luck back, and they win 6 more games.
I mean, they did completely change the offensive line.
Well,
Be
yeah.
honest.
I mean, they got Nelson, but like I don't think we were really.
Nelson could have been rookie year.
I don't think they were really expecting though.
You never know.
I mean, I go back to like Brandon.
No, but they were definitely one of the worst offensive lines in the
calling into
NFL.
the
And now they're
season.
one of the
now,
best.
now
I
they're
think
one
they're-
of the best. Yeah.
Yes,
think
but
they are
none
the
of us expected that. That's the thing. So, Andrew Luck throws for 4,593 yards, 39 touchdowns. I mean, what else do you want me to say? This guy's an absolute baller, and he transforms his Colts defense into something that I haven't seen out of the last year. Obviously, we're rocking with Jacoby Brissett, and then you bring back Andrew Luck.
He should have been in the Pro Bowl.
Jacoby Brissett?
No.
Oh,
It's like,
Andrew Luck?
Yeah, over Tom,
Yeah, I know.
over Tom Brady.
Colin Cowherd probably like,
He has him as MVP.
I know. So, I mean,
be nice.
I'm not going to be nice.
Cowherd, let me on your show, bro.
Yeah, if you're watching this, Colin Cowherd, we like Andrew Luck, which is not as much as you do. So I think there's not really much to say. Anything you guys want to say on Andrew Luck, or are we going to move on?
No, I mean there is honorable mentions. You have players like David Johnson, Carson Wentz. You could say as well.
Carson Wentz's bench now.
But yeah, there is other honorable mentions. But I think overall it's Andrew Luck who
Yeah.
takes the win.
Adrian Peterson too?
Could have been in there.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. So we got 3 more awards coming your way. Offensive Player of the Year. Just to let you guys know, for the fans at home, the MVP cannot be the Offensive Player of the Year.
It's kind of dumb.
I mean, unless the MVP is a defensive.
Why is it that?
Your laugh is so fake.
All right, so Offensive Player of the Year. Got to go with Big Boy Patrick. Obviously, he's second in my book. If he's not going to win MVP, he's going to move Offensive Player of the Year. 50 touchdowns, which is pretty dang impressive. 12 interceptions. It's gotta work on that. But this Chiefs team is 13-3. Obviously, they were incredible with Alex Smith. I'm just kidding. They were 11-5, I think they were. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So they were still a good team. But Patrick Mahomes does deserve to get a lot of credit after making the decision to get rid of Smith. I give a lot of credit to that organization and to Andy Big Boy Reid.
He is a big boy.
I would like to correct myself. It was 2012 was when Adrian Peterson won an MVP, not 2011, as I said earlier. But
Good job, Keegan.
my offensive player of the year is Drew Brees. As Kurt said, it can't be the same player
Yes,
as
sir.
MVP. So, same reasons as Kurt, Drew Brees had 5 interceptions. Led a great Saints offense. So, yeah, no, that's why I believe Drew Brees is offensive player of the year, mainly because you can't beat Patrick Mahomes. Cameron?
Cameron.
I went a bit different. My offensive player of the year is Phillip Rivers.
No,
He's better than Alex Smith.
I didn't say he was. I was just saying that better than Patrick Mahomes.
He brought this Chargers team from a 9-7 non-playoff team to a 12-4 team.
9-7. That's still a good
Did
record,
they make
though.
playoffs?
No,
So
it's still a good record, though.
they could have gotten the 1 seed.
That's
If
because he's a Redskins fan. He thinks it's a good record. Sorry, continue.
What are you about now?
That's actually funny. So he had threw for 4,308 yards, 32 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. So that's
But why do you think he wins it over Drew Brees?
because
I know
Drew
you
Brees
have-
already had a playoff team that could have been an NFC Championship.
Okay, but you just said earlier in the podcast if it was most impact, that's a difference
I was
between.
talking about the rookie.
Okay, well, it could apply for this too. You said it
Well,
can't.
I'm not applying that to this.
Okay, well, I'm just saying if you're gonna.
But Phillip Rivers has always been a good quarter. Wait, what am I
Yes, he has
No,
always been
no,
a good
I'm
quarterback.
saying, I meant to say, Drew Brees already had a good team. Phillip Rivers,
Well, Rivers had a good team. 9-7 is pretty good.
for Redskins fans, but
But no, they did make. But it is a pretty good team, and they made a lot of changes to make the
Yeah.
team even better. But
that defense hurt them last year. So Phillip Rivers had to carry that offense that team on his back last year, and it didn't work. So he actually had a good team this year.
yeah, no, and I agree. Phillip Rivers had an incredible year. I just don't see him winning it over
Right, Patrick Mahomes.
one of the
or-
other two.
Can we just agree this award is stupid? Like the MVP can't win this.
No?
Make it this discussion shorter.
Everybody deserves an award, Cameron.
Participation.
this.
Can there be a participation award?
Every NFL player.
That's millions of dollars. That's your participation award.
Right. So that means the next one is going to be Defensive Player of the Year. So who wants to start us out for that?
I'll start. I have Khalil Mack.
No.
Oh no. I want to do the diversity is key. So Khalil Mack absolutely changed that Bears defense, being the leadership that they needed these long years. The Bears went from 5-11 to 12-4 this year. He had a total of 12.5 sacks.
So I want to 8 more.
Did I ask?
I was just stating the facts.
6 forced fumbles, 1 interception, 1 touchdown, and 47 combined tackles in only 14 games.
Yeah, no, I think that 14 games stands out. I mean,
Yeah.
he did play 2 less games, could help his stats a lot, but I think it's Aaron Darnold.
I agree with Keegan on this one.
I think the 59 combined tackles with 4 forced fumbles on top of the 20.5 sacks.
That's if you're getting over 20 sacks, it's kind of
It's-
hard to go against it.
Yeah, no, and he helped that Rams defense, which not only had a good offense,
Right, because
but
I think we were all expecting Ndamukong Suh to step up, but he didn't really step up as much as I think
He
he
have
normally.
stepped up since he stepped on that leg. Aaron Rodgers' leg.
Yes, we know. Happened on Thanksgiving.
Just making sure.
But I think you did mention the four forced fumbles, which is pretty impressive to say the least. I think we can all agree.
at the defensive tackle position.
Right, and then the thing that stands out though to me is the 20.5 sacks. I think it might. I don't know the exact record. I will have to check on that, but I know it's. I think it's first by Ndamukong. What's that? So I think there's a. I'll double check the record. Let me double check.
The Rams?
No, so Michael Strahan has 20.5, so that means he is, I think, he is 7th all time, which is still really good.
Yeah, no, that's still
That's
an incredible season.
So if he would have just gotten even a half sack more, he'd be 5th.
Mhm.
You have to give credit to that. So I think that Donald wins it because
That sacks really helps him a lot.
yeah, exactly. So the last stat is Coach of the Year.
That's an award.
I'm so sorry. Last award is Coach of the Year. So I have Sean Payton. I know you guys have different opinions on this, but I seriously don't think the Saints team would be as powerful and good as they are without this guy leading the way. You guys are obviously both heading in a different direction, but here's the thing. Drew Brees is, 38?
Mm-hmm.
And I think the way that Sean Payton sets up his play calling fits Brees perfectly. What Sean Payton does week in and week out, obviously with combining the rushing carries with Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara, how he makes those two fit, how he makes Drew Brees find receivers who I don't think are that good besides Michael Thomas, like Traquan Smith, for an example. I feel like it's very fascinating, and it's every year I'm seeing that like he's getting doing very good. Obviously, he has that Super Bowl under his belt, and then I just think that we have to give credit to Sean Payton for leading this team. And usually, there's a good chance. I don't know exactly how many in the last couple of years, but the MVP, usually the Coach of the Year is with that same player.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that we all have to take that into consideration.
I mean, my coach of the year is Matt Nagy. Sorry if
You said it right.
The Chicago Bears head coach. Usually,
Copy and paste.
he took a 5-11 team to a 12-4 record, and they're the third seed in the NFC. And I'm pretty sure they finished last in their division last year, and
They
they
did.
won it this year, which is incredible. But I feel like when it comes to coach of the year, the Saints did make the playoffs last year, and they were one player away from making an NFC championship. So I don't feel like Sean Payton has done much to that team to improve it, if you get what I mean.
Yeah,
So Matt Nagy has improved this team a lot, especially the defensive side.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I feel he deserves coach of the year.
Yeah, no, I also have Matt and Nagy, and I think for the same reasons, but especially that defense, how he changed that defense to become one of the top defenses, or the top defense in the league. And he pulled the trigger on that trade for Khalil Mack, which really improved their team, really helped it. And then they already had players like Akeem Hicks, Adrian Amos, Eddie
Akeem
Jackson.
Hicks really stepped up this year.
Yeah, Kyle Fuller, but he made all those players that are on that defense now
And I think
that stand out.
And Roquan Smith's the best linebacker in the best rookie linebacker, and we didn't. I mean, I expected it, but some people others didn't. I called it. I said he was gonna be the best linebacker.
No, but a lot of those.
Darius Leonard's better.
Yeah, I think Darius Leonard's better than him. But a lot of people think that, or a lot of good players that are on that defense now that everybody recognizes was on that team last year, just weren't as popular as they were now. Because now Matt and Nagy pulled the best out of that defense and made that defense team incredible. And their offense was struggling last year, and he figured out how to put in how to work Jordan Howard in there, or not just Jordan Howard, Tariq Cohen in there with
And
Jordan
Mitch
Howard.
He also got Allen Robinson.
Yeah, he got Allen Robinson. He got Mitch Trubisky playing a lot better. I mean, we saw that 6 touchdown game.
Yep.
It was. I mean that. Not
And
only,
I think Mitch Trubisky's now more of a dual threat.
Yeah, no.
Because
He
he
can-
was.
Go ahead.
He wasn't a running QB.
I also want to mention the Colts head coach. What's his name? I forget. No, he should.
Josh McDaniels? Oh wait.
That's the offensive coordinator for the Patriots.
No, I'm saying he could have went to the Colts, but he declined it.
Oh yeah.
Frank
I'm
Reich.
not that dumb.
Frank Reich.
Yes.
Is that how you say it?
Frank Reich.
Frank Reich.
He was the defensive coordinator for the Eagles.
We should also mention him because
Offensive. My bad. Wait, no.
Yeah, guys.
He was the offensive coordinator for
Yeah,
the
guys, I'm
Eagles.
not that dumb. I know Josh McDaniels.
Josh McDaniels, the new coach.
Frank Reich helped that Colts helped that
He
Colts
literally stepped in the
team
building
that
and
was-
said, "Nah, I'm gone. See ya. I'm going back to New England."
he helped that Colts team that was not good last year, had a top pick. With that pick, they picked Quentin Nelson, and they became one of the top teams, made the playoffs, and are the 6th seed in the AFC.
Yes.
So, I think that's all for our awards.
Yes,
Correct.
so before we do get into the grading the NFL teams, we want to give a special shout out to Trimino Protein Infused Water. So have you guys ever heard of Trimino Protein Infused Water? Trimino is a sugar-free drink that's infused with 7 grams of whey protein. Chimino has 7 delicious flavors to choose from, including coconut pineapple, strawberry lemonade, raspberry lemonade, mixed berry, citrus, peach, and orchard. You can find Chimino in the cold cooler at your local CVS pharmacy. And Chimino is always available on Amazon. Chimino. Proteins never tasted so good. So, with that in mind, now we're going to grade the NFL teams.
I also want to mention our new sponsor, SeatGeek.
All right, correct. So,
Keegan's on top of it today.
yeah, would you like to tell them what SeatGeek is?
So SeatGeek is an app where you can purchase tickets to not only sports events, but also concerts.
Yes.
And other events that sell tickets. It grades your tickets with colors, which gives you green, yellow, and red.
Yes.
Yeah.
Green being the best price for its seating. It might be expensive, but for it where it is, it's a good price.
And it also gives you a rating 1 through 10. If it's like a 9.5, for example, you obviously know you're getting a good seat.
You can also see like the visual of your seat.
Yes.
Where you're
You
sitting.
can see where you're sitting, and so if you use our code,
BSO show.
you get
$20
off.
$20 off your first purchase. $20.
So if you buy a $20 ticket, it's nothing.
That is true.
Well.
And I think we know that at some basketball games you get to see.
Especially Hornets games.
But make sure you guys do use our code BSO show at checkout, and you guys will get $20 off your first purchase. Which is pretty
And if Kimba leaves, who knows? It might go down to 5.
All right, so time to grading NFL teams. First one we will start is the Arizona Cardinals, and I gave them a big fat F. Because in my book, if you're last, you get an F.
So I said this on the YouTube. I gave him a higher grade than
Make
an
sure you
F.
guys do check out the YouTube video that we did post.
Leave it a like. But
And subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
I did give the Arizona Cardinals a higher grade than an F. I don't remember what I gave them exactly.
Then
but
you gave them a D minus.
I think I'm gonna give them a D just because they did play awful. I mean, we saw it. They went 3-13,
Yikes!
But-
Steve Wilkes.
but they did get that first overall pick. And
Oh.
that could be
Tank.
that could be a game changer with Nick
Yeah, we
Bosa.
already know who's gonna be.
I think Nick Bosa's gonna go number
took
one.
like
And that
half
could be
his
a
college
game
career.
changer.
That's like
It's gonna be Nick.
That's like, are we in this house right now? Of course we are. Nick Bosa is going number 1. I'll bet my house on it.
I'll give him a
Then again,
D
though,
minus.
could we expect the Anthony Bennett? All right. So, what is your grade for the Arizona Cardinals?
D minus.
Why?
Because obviously,
If you're last, you're last. You get F. It's basically you fail at the NFL.
We all have different opinions.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Your opinion's not always the best. So, obviously, Arizona didn't have much to work with. You could say they have David Johnson,
you
but
already
their
had
offense-
you already had Josh Rosen.
Yeah.
Josh Rosen is
the
elite.
worst rookie quarterback out.
No, that's just definitely not
That
true.
is definitely true.
That's not true.
Who's worse than him?
Josh Allen.
No, no, bro. Did Josh Allen hurdle a Vikings defender?
I mean, the Vikings did make the playoffs. Case Keenum's really
I mean,
Kirk Cousins.
can Josh Rosen even jump 2 feet?
Okay, but the thing is,
Yeah, exactly.
the Cardinals should stick with Rosen.
I'm not saying they shouldn't.
No,
I'm
they
saying,
will
I'm
stick
saying
in.
this year he hasn't been good.
So that's why you guys are going to be fascinated with my mock draft. Coming out soon. So
Okay.
next one is the Atlanta Falcons. I would give them a C minus because even though that they did go 7-9 and got a quality win over divisional, I mean it's not really quality if I say so myself. They beat the Cardinals, they beat the Panthers, they beat the Buccaneers. But I would give them probably like a C minus because I mean it's kind of an average record. They did clean shop though. Got rid of their offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and special teams. So I think we have to kind of give them props for that. I mean, that they did something.
I mean, I'll give them a D plus because we did
Yikes!
understand they had injuries, but we did expect them to
They
make
did
the playoffs.
they did go second in the NFC South though.
Yeah, and the third one was 7-9. So, and last year 3 teams in the NFC South made the playoffs. So you did expect the Falcons to make the playoffs. So it was kind of a failure of the season. So that's why I gave them a D plus.
Yeah, no, it did. It was a failure of the season compared to what the season they had last year. They did go. They, as Kurt said, 7-9, second in the NFC South.
Yeah.
So, but I think I would give them more of a C, just because the injuries did hurt them a lot. Beginning of the season, their defense was god awful. They were letting up so many points, and I think they still have those good players like Matt Ryan. I mean, we could all say he's a good player.
Yeah, I mean, he got paid, but
yes, he get paid. But that's why I'd probably give him a C, 7 to 9. Not the best, but not. It's also not the worst. Didn't make the playoffs. Not what they wanted, but it's whatever.
the next team now we got is the Baltimore Ravens. Cameron is obviously excited to do this one. So Keegan, you want to start us off for the Ravens?
Sure. So for the Ravens, I'd probably give them a B plus.
I would agree with that.
Lamar, they weren't a top team. They didn't top. If you're not a top team, you don't deserve an A. They did show signs of greatness with the Lamar Jackson showed signs, but I believe the Ravens, and they made the playoffs, which was their goal coming into the season. I think that's their goal is to make the
I
playoffs.
think Lamar Jackson's goal is to win the Super Bowl.
It's just like all reality that they're not.
Yeah, no, but the Ravens did make the playoffs. They had glimpses of greatness, and I don't think they'll go too far, but they made the playoffs, and I think that's why I give them a B plus.
I would agree with the B plus. I think that you made a great point saying their goal was probably just to make this playoffs. They can be a great team in the future if Lamar shows how good he can be for the future.
Also, their defense was incredible.
Best defense in the NFL.
I would say though, if they want to be in a great team, you have to get in
So
the.
about the Bears.
Second best defense in the NFL.
No.
Right, yeah.
I would say that in order for this Ravens team to become even better, if you get a strong running back, they could be even a lot better. So it'd be cool to see what happens in the future.
I don't think the Ravens have ever been really, over
Except for Ray Rice.
the past few years, they haven't had a
that didn't work out too well.
top dog running back.
He didn't win a Super Bowl, but Captain Best. So I'll give the Ravens an A minus just because
Shocker!
I want my team anywhere. Now I understand our goal is to win the playoffs, but
Win.
I meant make playoffs. My fault. But we did also win AFC North with the Steelers. I know they had a rough season, not having Le'Veon Bell,
Antonio Brown.
and yeah, but the Ravens did. I mean, as a Ravens fan, I did expect the Steelers to win the division, and I expected us to get wild card, but us winning the division really helped us out. So I'll give them an A minus because no one expected them to win the division.
Next team we got is the Buffalo Bills. I would give this team a C minus because they were the worst team in football after 3 games. I think we can all agree on that.
The Ravens blew them out 42-0.
So obviously, out of the last couple of games, I think they've obviously that huge win against the Dolphins, which is pretty impressive. And then you got a win over the Lions, which is a pretty good, I think we can say. This Bills team, I think, has really improved. AFC East, I mean, it's the Patriots every year. What are you going to expect? But I do think that, though, we have to give some credit to the Bills. Josh Allen, I thought he was going to be just buns and a half, but he's not awful. So
Better than Josh Rosen.
not for long. So what do you guys want to grade the Buffalo Bills?
I'll give them a C plus. Not much to say. They had a better season last season. Wait, no, they didn't. They made C minus. They did not make playoffs like they did last year. But that was because of the Bengals.
I would also give them a C minus because, I mean, they did they were struggling. They weren't the best team. What were their records? 6 and 10.
6 and 10.
Yeah. So they did have, and they have glimpses of young players like Josh Allen, like they were saying, and they also I like Zay Jones. I don't know if he's your number 1 receiver, but I like him as a receiver.
He was really good at ECU, so.
Yeah, no, and then other than that though, not too much to say. You just had Kyle Williams retire. That was probably one of the biggest headlines of the year. But
Biggest headline of Buffalo sports is Kyle Williams catching a football.
I would give him a C minus as well.
Next team, you guys, the Panthers. I give them a D plus.
Same.
They were supposed to go to the playoffs after 6 and 2, but absolute joke that you lose 6 straight, and it could have been 8. They lost 7 straight, and it could have been 8 if the Saints actually tried that game. And I don't even know what's up with Cam Newton. I don't know if he's gonna be back. I was never a huge fan of Cam Newton. So I think Cameron, you had him in the NFC Championship at one point in the season. But I do think, though, that this Panthers team had enough talent. I just don't know why they couldn't get it done. So
Yeah, no. After starting 6-2, I think you
Yeah,
have
that's
to.
what I said. That we're gonna make the NFC Championship. So don't hate on me.
I think after starting 6-2, I think you have to give them a low grade, and D plus, C minus is around that range. I mean, they had some bad losses against teams like the Buccaneers, the Browns, and they even when
Browns are elite now.
the defense was on and off all the time. The only player that really showed out there all the time was Luke Kuechly, I would say.
Yeah.
But he's always been amazing. A top
On defense?
Yeah, I'd say he's a top defensive player in the league. I really like Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey was a great player for them this year, receiving and running the ball. And I think McCaffrey is probably the piece you want around. Cam Newton had his struggles, a lot of them. Had that.
If he couldn't throw 30 yards, he was just like, oh, here you go, 2 yard. Here you go.
Didn't know, and I think that you have to give him a C minus, D plus, just because even though they started well, that finish was not good. They should have with that start. That should have been guaranteed in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I have him D plus range because after 6-2, you expect Cam Newton was having one of his best starts of his career, and just something went wrong. That defense never showed up again, and the offense never produced other than Christian McCaffrey. So you have to give him.
Yeah.
and they also still need a receiver. I mean, DJ Moore.
Yeah.
He can't produce.
He showed fine, but I don't.
He's
think he showed,
he's a strong number 2, but I don't know
Yeah.
about number 1.
Yeah, he didn't show a number 1 receiving option like.
And I think they were hoping with Devin Funches, but that's your first mistake. So their next team is the Chicago Bears. I would give them an A because in my book, the A plus is the best team in the NFL.
Mhm.
So I think this Bears team has obviously, like we said, really improved since last year. Obviously won the division at 12-4, which is outstanding. Got quality wins over the Rams, Packers, 49ers, and Vikings out of the last 4 weeks, and they're going to win 5 straight after they will beat the Eagles on Sunday, January 6th. So
I would also give him. I would give him an A minus just because their defense was incredible. I think we all can say that they were the best defense in the league. I think. I don't know if you guys have anybody
agree.
higher,
No.
but you
They
had
don't have
so
a
many great players on that defense that I think that defense really helped that team, really carry that team because they would win lower scoring games. 49ers was 14-9. Rams was 15-6. Even they held the Vikings to 10 points in the last week of the season. I think it's really that Bears defense has really helped them a lot, and their offense has been playing a lot better as well. So
Yeah, I'll give the Bears an A because they obviously finished last in the division last year. No one expected them to be this good, but then they went out and got Khalil Mack, and
like they got him as a coach.
So that's obviously improved them tremendously, and so I'll give them an A because I haven't won the Super Bowl.
So the next team is the Cincinnati Bengals. I would give the Bengals, I would say a D minus, but an actual D because they fired big boy Marvin Lewis. Everyone round of applause for that. Obviously, the Bengals are kind of a laughing stock in the NFL. Not really much to say there when
Their drafting's been horrible.
I know. And they did go 6-10. Lost to the Browns, lost to the Broncos, lost to the Steelers. I mean, who else do they lose to? But that's just what I'm saying. It's just not ideal if you really want to take into consideration.
I would give them a D. They did, as Kurt said, they did go 6-10, but I like parts of the roster. Joe Mixon, I like as a player. He's a great
AJ
running
Green,
back.
obviously.
They obviously have AJ Green, and Tyler Boyd showed this year. I think he was a great receiver, great option, or a secondary option behind AJ Green. But other than that, the season didn't go well. Kurt mentioned the losses. It was not good at all. But they did fire Marvin Lewis.
Yeah, so I would give them a D, but D plus because they did fire Marvin Lewis after a century ago. So they did show some spark at the beginning of the year. I think they were 3-0, 4-0. And I was like, this team could go to
And
the
they beat you guys
playoffs.
week 2, right?
Yeah. So
Oh, did you have them in the AFC Championship?
no,
I swear you did.
I said they could.
Oh. See. Next team we got the Cleveland Browns. You know, the record doesn't show it, but I'd give him a B minus, maybe a B. Think Baker Mayfield wins Rookie of the Year, like I said. I think that this Browns team is going to be really impressive next year. Obviously, if they do stick with Greg Williams, I think that's the best decision for that organization. I think we all can agree the drafting's been pretty well last year. Nick Chubb, Baker Mayfield, and then they did get Denzel Ward, and then you also look back.
Peppers.
Yeah, Jabril Peppers.
Garrett.
Yeah, so the drafting's been good under what's his name again? Am I thinking of?
I can tell you.
It's the Browns.
I'll go. But I also think the Browns probably deserve a B minus. I think the Browns have.
John Dorsey.
There you go.
That's him.
The Browns showed so much potential with so many different players. I mean, they just mentioned all the young players they drafted. Baker Mayfield showed really well after Tyrod Taylor went out injured. They also Nick Chubb. I really liked Nick Chubb out there. He was great running the ball. And then you have they still have Jarvis Landry, who is a good receiver and a receiver you want out there. But
He's a good number one.
he has a
Panthers
great.
should learn,
Yeah, no, but
especially the Redskins.
yeah, no, but the potential they've shown and to jump from 0-16 to 7-8-1, I think I would have to give them a B minus as well.
Yeah, I'd definitely give them a B. Even though they finished third in the division behind Steelers and Ravens. You have to give them credit.
Next team is the Dallas Cowboys. I would give the Dallas Cowboys a B. Partly because I hate them. They're not going to win, so we don't have to worry about that. But we do have to give credit. Looked like it was a stupid decision getting Amari Cooper, but it has turned out that is actually a pretty smart decision. Even though Jerry Jones is still stupid. I'm just kidding, Jerry. You're alright. Even though TV shows you every 2 seconds. But also Zeke is incredible. Obviously won the rushing title this year. And then the offensive line, defense is incredible. It's obviously gone a lot better. So I'll give them a B.
Yeah, no, I would probably give them a B as well because they made the playoffs. Great for that's what they wanted.
Could have been Redskins.
Hopefully, you can get a playoff one.
They have
No,
players.
we don't need to worry about that.
They still have players like Ezekiel Elliott. I really like their linebacker Van Der Esch.
Leighton Van Resch.
Everyone underrated him.
I did.
Yeah,
I was laughing
I
at my TV.
I meant overrated him. My man.
No, but he's still a great linebacker in the NFL. I think we know.
Even Jalen Smith next to him is incredible too.
That's the best linebacker duo in NFL.
Yeah, no, and I think
Ryan Kerrigan, Preston Smith, Mason Foster. I'm just kidding.
Ruben Foster.
Kurt mentioned the Amari Cooper trade and making the playoffs. I think really is the main point that made me give them the B.
Definitely, I would give them definitely a B because at the beginning of the year, obviously injuries killed them, but the Redskins, Cowboys were like third or second in the division, and they came back. Obviously, that defense has stepped up tremendously with Jalen Smith, Van Der Esch, and Marcus Lawrence. With their
Maybe Sean Lee, but he's injured every year, so.
So, Jason Garrett, I forgot coach name. Jason Garrett obviously is Dak has been up and down this whole year.
All right, question:
obviously-
do you guys think Dak deserves to get paid? Like
How
26 to 30 million a year is how much you is expected to get.
I mean, what other quarterback are they going to get? Tony Romo coming back from retirement.
No, I'm saying, does he
this-
deserve it though?
Probably not.
Thank you.
Probably not that much,
No.
but he does deserve a good amount of money.
Here's the
He's
thing
gone
though,
to
like
playoffs twice.
His
you
his
said,
rookie year
like
was
we've
incredible.
seen, the top 5 QBs that got paid didn't make the playoffs, and that's
Top
mainly
6.
because you don't.
Joe Flacco.
Sorry, and that's mainly because you don't have enough cap space to get other key parts. That's why if you get a strong rookie QB for those first 4 years, I'm a huge fan like Baker. They're gonna be set for the next 3 years. I'm think because they have a lot of cap space now. Dallas will run into that situation. Maybe they can't sign some of their defensive stars. Maybe they can't sign some of the offensive stars as well. Maybe they can't bring back Amari Cooper. It's just I don't know. But next team is the Denver Broncos. I'd give them probably a D plus, C minus.
Yeah,
Um,
I would give him around that area as well. 6 and 10. They've showed their bright spots a lot. I mean, we all really liked Philip Lindsay. Philip Lindsay was incredible this year.
And I don't think Case Keenum's that bad. I'm serious.
No.
I'm not a hater on him.
Overpaid, but anyways, not only Philip Lindsay, but they still have Bradley Chubb, who was a good pick.
Yeah.
He played
It
well.
was a safe pick.
Mhm,
So.
He played well, and then you had Royce Freeman they picked in the draft. I don't know what round.
He was not bad.
Relatively early. He wasn't bad, but with Philip Lindsay's breakout, he didn't get the time he wanted to go out there. And they did have Cortland Sutton and Deshaun Hamilton, who were two good receivers that showed bright spots behind Emmanuel Sanders.
So mine, like I said, basically touch on yours. Give him a C minus. 6 and 10 doesn't show it, but I hope that Philip Lindsay, they do re-sign my man Case Keenum, they'll be fine.
Yeah, I'd definitely give him like C range because you didn't. After Case Keenum, expected them to improve, especially after going from Case Keenum to Simeon or whoever their starting QB was.
Trevor Simeon.
Yeah, so I'll give him a C.
Next one is Detroit Lions. Yikes. What was their official record?
6 and 10.
A lot of teams went 6 and 10 this year. I would again give them a C minus. I think they were hoping for a little better under Matt Patricia. Obviously, getting rid of Golden Tate hurt them a little bit. And I'm still not I'm a huge fan of Kerryon Johnson, but it was tough having LeGarrette Blount as your starting running back while he got injured and was put on IR.
Yeah, no, there was a couple injuries that hurt him, but I do believe probably C minus, D plus again with that 6 and 10 record. Kenny Golladay played well. I liked the step that Kenny Golladay took from last year. I mean, he showed those spots last year, and this year he showed them even more, and he proved to be one of your top options. And they traded Golden Tate away, which I don't know how you feel about that. They did get a couple picks. Was it a third?
Third.
But other than that, there's not much to say about the Detroit Lions.
I mean, probably D plus. Kerryon Johnson's injury did slow their offense down, even with Matthew Stafford, who still is a pretty good quarterback. He just doesn't have enough weapons, so C minus or like D plus.
Next one is the Green Bay Packers. Very disappointing year for them. I think we can all agree. 6-9-1 was their record. Lost some lines on the last day. I would give them a D plus. Honestly, I think we were expecting a lot more. Obviously, that huge paycheck to Aaron Rodgers. You need to fill up the other gaps first. Obviously, he's not the reason, so I would just give him a D plus.
I'd give him like a D minus because expectations were up there, especially with obviously Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback. I mean,
Devontae Adams as a number one receiver is great.
Yes, even Jimmy Graham, we were hoping to get a lot better.
Yeah, it's quick, especially
that defense, and especially injuries in the secondary. I'm pretty sure like 4 of their starting cornerbacks only played single-digit games. So
yeah, no, there's not much more to say. You give them a D plus because their expectations were high. They didn't perform.
Next team is the Houston Texans. I would give them a minus. Very impressive year. Obviously starting out 0-3, it was a huge, you know what I mean? Like it was obviously like a huge step.
Oh yeah, Deshaun Watson could be comeback player here.
True. So I think we need to give credit to the Houston Texans. All right, the next team we got is the Indianapolis Colts. So what grade would we give them? Cameron, you want to start us off?
I would give them a minus for the expectations we had during the season. Obviously, we didn't know how Andrew Luck was going to come perform after his year of not playing last season at all. Mm-hmm. So I would give him an A minus just because of expectations.
Definitely an A minus. I thought they were going to be the worst team in football this year. I thought the offensive line could not be able to handle Andrew Luck, but they proved me wrong. Obviously, Quentin Nelson's a huge part of that team, and Colts are actually really good. So Keegan.
I would also give them probably a B. They played well. They got in the playoffs, what they wanted. Probably actually a B plus because made the playoffs. But
hey, did they make the playoffs?
Yes, they did make the playoffs.
Oh, they did.
And you guys already pointed the point, proved the points. They played well, a lot better than last year. Quentin Nelson was a huge part of that team. Andrew Luck's comeback was great. And other than that, I think that's it.
So the next team is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Kind of disappointing, I would say. I thought I had them in the playoffs.
It was very disappointing.
So I would give them a D minus.
I'd give them an F because they are in the AFC Championship and they're a top 4 team in the NFL, and you don't even have
playoffs.
What was their record? Like 5-11.
Yeah. Which is so sad. Yeah, you did make a good point there. I would give them D minus. So we got the Kansas City Chiefs. I would give them an A. I have the Chiefs making the Super Bowl, actually. So I do think this Chiefs team's incredible. I didn't expect it with Patrick Mahomes. I thought Kareem Hunt would stay in the league.
That's upsetting.
No, but I do think that if they can get the running back situation under control, they will be a very great team, and if they can improve that defense a little bit more. Anything else you guys want to add?
Yeah, no, the defense definitely needs improving, and I would also give them an A because they're 13-3 season. Great season. I mean, Patrick Mahomes played great. We all said that. And then it really was the offense that carried them, and that's why I don't have them going too far in the playoffs, but I do give them an A for the regular season.
Definitely give them an A. They have the best offense in the league, and we didn't expect out Patrick Mahomes coming in.
Expected out of Smith, though. Next one's the LA Chargers. The team that's going to beat Cameron's team.
No.
I'm just kidding.
No, he's not.
I would give him a B, A minus.
I'll give them a B.
I'd give him an A minus.
Because were like one game from making playoffs last year, and they could have gotten the 1 seed
Right,
this year.
that's true, but they could have gotten the 1 seed. That's what I'm saying. So like, obviously they would have gotten the 2 or 3 seed if they were in a good, better, a worse division. So I think it's kind of unfair to give them a B just because they got wild card. Does that make sense? They got a little unfortunate there.
I would say probably an A minus for them.
Yeah.
Their defense played great. Their offense played even better. And with Phillip Rivers passing the ball and Melvin Gordon running the ball, I think it's a great combination.
Yeah, so the next one is the LA Rams now, not the LA Chargers. I would as well give them an A. They obviously performed incredible. Sean McVay's turning out to be one of the best coaches, and he's so young. Jared Goff, Todd Gurley, Aaron Donald. I can go on and on. So it's a very fantastic team.
Yeah, definitely A. The season they had was incredible.
Right.
One of the top offenses and defenses, they just started off, or they started really well, and they slowed down, I felt like, towards the end of the season. Not necessarily losing a lot of games, but just slowing down in general.
Just too comfortable because they made a playoff spot.
They also missed Todd Gurley a couple games with those injuries near the end.
Yeah, so next one's the Miami Dolphins. Even though I do think Adam Gase should not have been fired, I do think we can agree it was kind of a disappointing season.
Yes.
Where they go 7-9, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
So they are kind of in a little bit of a pickle with Ryan Tannehill as starting quarterback. So what do you guys think you should give the Dolphins?
Give them a C minus. I mean, they were behind. At some point they were behind Titans, Colts, Ravens for the last wild card spot. My bad. So I mean, they were in it for a while, especially after that Patriots game, Miami Miracle. Especially after that, where I think they had the tiebreaker over Titans and Ravens. So C minus. They kind of dropped the last 2 games.
Yeah, C minus as well. Like Kurt said, the quarterback situation is not the best. The receiver situation isn't the best either. Running back, they don't run Kenyon Drake as much. They run more Frank Gore, and I just feel like it's not as well, or it's not as good as a team as you could be.
Yeah. We got the Minnesota Vikings now. I'd give them a C on the dot. 1 game away from making the playoffs, but here's the thing: if you're paying your quarterback $84 million, and you go to the NFC Championship next year, and I think we all expected them to beat Philly, at least I did. I think it's kind of sad to say that you're not even in the playoffs this year.
I would probably give them a C plus because they did play really well at the beginning. Adam Thielen played excellent at the beginning.
Yes.
He dropped off. You had Stephon Diggs still, Emerson Griffin.
If they had Dalvin Cook the whole year, it could be different.
Yeah, but even then, Dalvin Cook didn't have as good of a year as people expected. Yeah. And I feel like there's so many pieces on that team, and it just didn't work out as well as it should have.
I'd give them a D plus just for the point I made with the Jags. They're a top 4 team in the NFL, and you didn't make the playoffs even though they were 1 game away. Still a failure.
New England Patriots, I would give them as well an A minus.
Just A minus.
Just
A minus.
There's not much we can talk about. 10 years of A's.
Don't need to talk about
New Orleans Saints, A plus.
Yeah.
I have them winning the Super Bowl.
I'd give them an A. I don't think they're the best team in the league.
I do think
they're one of the best teams, but I don't think they're the best.
Well, when they win
I think it's the best. Bears.
Hope you're kidding. When they win the Super Bowl, y'all can come at it.
The Bears won the Super Bowl.
No. Yes. New York Giants.
C minus.
I'd give them a D just because. 6-10 is that the record? 5-11.
5-11.
It's just not good. 5-11 is an awful record. I know they don't have a quarterback or a line, but
That's why you draft Dwayne Haskins.
I would probably give him a C-, just because, I mean, they still have Saquon Barkley played incredible, showed great potential. They still have Odell Beckham, who's
he is on the trade block though.
well,
No, that's not
reportedly. They said they don't want to trade him.
They're not true.
Odell Beckham is one of the best, if not the best receiver in the league. You can make the argument. And then they have pieces like Evan Ingram, who he was inconsistent this year. Sterling Shepard is another one. It really, that defense needs to step up, and that offensive line needs fixing.
Oakland Raiders. I'd give them a D.
Yeah, no.
Really disappointing season. 4th pick in the draft.
I mean, you could give them an F because of what they did.
I do
during the
think though
season.
that John Gruden has a plan in store. I do think they will be a good team in years to come.
I know, but there's just, I would give them probably a D- just because there's not much promise on that team right now.
I'll
You
give them-
have the picks
Yeah.
from the trades, but
They have
other,
like 3 first-round picks.
other than that, what do you got?
No,
Yeah.
I understand that, but
I'll give him a D-.
if Derek Carr can step up,
Well, Derek Carr, I don't think he is.
No.
I don't think
I'll
he's
give him a D.
quarterback you can use.
I'll give him a D-, but you can't give him. You could say you could give him an F because of what they did trading Amari Cooper and trading Khalil Mack for like.
first round picks.
I mean, but
At
the
same
way they've
time,
been drafting,
Yeah.
what are you gonna get from that?
those were their 2 best draft picks.
Philadelphia Eagles. C plus probably B minus.
Yeah.
See,
They're still. I'd give them B minus. They're in the playoffs.
They really struggled though at the beginning.
They did,
Mhm.
but Dick Foles has changed his offense for the.
Zach Ertz has been incredible all year.
And I really do like Dallas Gobert, however you say it. He's a good second string tight end that people really forget about. So I give him a B minus in that case. Pittsburgh Steelers. Yikes, there's some drama going on there.
Yeah, no, I would. You
C
have to
minus.
give them. I'd say C plus C because they still were a great team
They
It's
didn't
just
work.
they
Out
didn't-
with, they didn't work it with Le'Veon though.
and they didn't make playoffs.
Yeah.
And that you think with this roster, Antonio Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster, Ben
Both
Roethlisberger,
top 10
and
receivers in the league.
Le'Veon Bell, James Conner came out. I mean, Le'Veon Bell didn't play, so you can take him out. But James Conner, T.J. Watt played well.
And what's that running back's name? Sanders or Samuel or something?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I know who you're talking about though.
Yeah, Jalen Samuel.
Yeah, he did good.
It's just really disappointing you didn't make. Clearly, you were 1 game out of the playoffs and you left it to the Browns.
San Francisco 49ers.
If their season might have been different,
If they Jimmy G and even Jerick McKinnon.
Yeah, you forget about Jerick McKinnon
Yeah.
too.
I would give them though.
Matt Breida did do good well.
I would give them a D though, just because they still are one of the worst teams in football.
George
Yeah.
Kittle played great this year.
I love George
I
Kittle.
would like to see that offense with Garoppolo, Kittle, and yeah.
And they have Goodwin.
McKinnon. Yeah, Goodwin is a great. He didn't play as good this year, but he is a great player. Other than that, who's next?
Seattle Seahawks. They did make the playoffs. Had a really good second half of the year.
Yeah,
I
started
would give
off
them a B minus
slow.
in that case scenario.
They're gonna be
I
plus.
do. Yeah, they do. I do think they will win their playoff games. So, you have to take that. into
They did beat
consideration.
Kansas City.
I think based off regular season, I'd have to give them a B minus probably because how slowly started off the year. They picked it up, but they started off super slow in that.
Yeah. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Oh my gosh, that's just a mess. They fired their head coach. Something's got to change there. I don't like Jameis Winston. Never been a fan of him, so I
I
don't.
don't
think,
like any of their quarterbacks.
They don't have a quarterback. Right
And
now.
they're trying to keep Jameis Winston.
I know, which is shocking to me.
What pick did they?
Mike Evans.
They have
is-
the 5th pick. They could easily pick a quarterback. this year.
Mike
They
Evans.
go with Dwayne Haskins.
I don't want him.
Mike Evans.
If
is
Dwayne
really-
Haskins get drafted there, that's a no-no for him.
Mike Evans is really the only comfortable player there, or good player there.
I mean, they have
Jason
good.
Pierre-Paul is good though on the defensive
I mean,
side.
they
of
have
the ball.
good young players in O.J. Howard and someone defensive end, but
Tennessee Titans.
they're like 1 game away.
They were 1 game
Oh,
away.
yeah.
I'd give them a C plus, B minus. Still a really good team. If they had Mariota those last 2 games.
That last game they kind of probably won it.
Yeah, I do think that's a little bit different. Derrick Henry showing that he can become a first round, number 1 back instead of usually Deion Lewis.
He showed it in the last couple of games.
Yeah.
Especially with that 99-yarder.
So I do think though that they got some work they got to do, but I do
Definitely.
think that it's not bad. And then the last team is the Washington Redskins. I'd probably give them a C.
C minus.
I would probably give him a C minus as well.
Like I said though, I do think that it is different if the injuries don't happen.
Well, injuries really hurt them, but I don't think they would have made playoffs anyways, even without the injuries. I think they would have lost. And I mean, Alex Smith, I don't think Alex Smith is a quarterback you really wanted, even if he was healthy. He's not that quarterback that carries you to the playoffs, especially. Well, he could be like he was with the Chiefs. He had the pieces around him, but here in Washington, he has Adrian Peterson around him.
Yeah.
It's not like you had Kareem Hunt next to you like you did last year.
True. All right, so I think that's it with our podcast. But before we go, special shout out to Mr. Wildfire. So
you can follow him on
Instagram
at Mr. Wildfire Official.
Yes, or you can check out his music on Spotify at obviously Mr. Wildfire. And then the song that we will play at the end of the podcast is something that he's produced and made himself. That's really good, so make sure you guys check that out.
Follow him on Instagram too.
And then also a reminder, thank you for Trumino for sponsoring this video. And then also SeatGeek, make sure to use the code BSO show to get $20 off your first purchase using SeatGeek, which is a great ticket site. Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you guys next time.